Hello, everybody, and Happy New Year. This is Dee Dee Sanchez of the Scrappy Gaming DDS channel, and welcome back for another Oh So Inspired collaboration. Alicia has sent us a picture, which will pop up right here, of this lovely card, which was created by Judy Morrow from Confessions of a Ribbon Addict. Her link to her blog post is in the description below, as well as the links of all the wonderful crafters who are creating something inspired by this picture. And there are 20 of them, 20 for the new year. Awesome. We're starting another 6 month cycle, so please go and check out everybody's video. If you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button, and you will get a monthly video because Alicia of Call Me Crafty Hal has set this up and is doing a fabulous job. From this inspiration, I'm taking this idea of the vellum and the trapness and the opacity, and I'm putting a little twist on it. The trapped is my inspiration, and you'll see what I'm going to do in a minute. Jumping right in, you are going to see this video go fast and slow, because there's a lot of things that we already know how to do. Um, and I'm sorry if this really new people comes into crafting, but cutting some basic card bases at the, down the middle, making a top folding card, and I used some 110 Recollections cardstock from Michaels. I also used a basic red, like a deep red, regular cardstock, and I cut that into the mats. So I'm doing a white and red, and because of the heart, we're going into the vein of Valentine's Day. So I think a lot of things, my prediction is a lot of other crafters in this collaboration are going to have something that is along those lines. We seem to all be having the same inspiration and all thinking in the same tones because we seem to come up with the same type of holiday. Or maybe it's because this February is around the corner. Anyway, I'm taking a Stampin' Up punch, which is the heart confetti punch, and on the red mats, I am doing a little simple border. So my intention is to do 4 cards. I don't usually make one of a card. I like to make multiples, and so I have 4 white card bases, 2 red mats, and so what am I doing with the other long red strip? Well, you're gonna see me here. I cut the confetti out and I was swiping it away, and then I said, "Oh, wait," and I put it back, and you saw me pick out the little debris, the half punched hearts, the little scraps here and there from the edges of the confetti punch, and here I am going back to that other piece of red paper and cutting out a bunch more. Um, this is going into my idea. This is going into what I did for my inspiration, and I'm not gonna like let you know right away. You're gonna see it all develop. Maybe someone who knows what they're looking at kind of has an inkling of what might be coming, but I'm just punching a bunch of hearts. I have about 3 different punches: the confetti, one from Success, I think. I found it in Hobby Lobby, and the Stamping Up Sweetheart Punch. And so I cut a bunch of different sizes. The Sweetheart Punch is going to be for on the front, and now you'll see me bringing in the next phase, which is where I'm going with this. Um, the little vellum packet had sequins and all that stuff in the mix. The stitching was very cute, and so right now I'm going through my stash of sequins and glitter and whatnot, and I'm pulling out stuff that has hearts, silvers, reds. There was one that was a little iridescent, and I'm just taking that out. And then I go and grab some glitter, and I grab a silver and a red, and I should be coming back with that to the. There we go. The speeding up is like really jarring me because I did all the editing first, and then I said I'm gonna talk about it. Okay, so here, let's get back to the video. You see me opening this. If you don't know what this is a transparency sheet. You usually put, whatever you want to laminate into this. It's a laminating sheet, my bad, not a transparency. And so I decided to use this. And it's not the first time. I've been playing with it over the Christmas holiday. But basically, this idea of trapped is to create my own see-through paper. It's not really paper. It's not really vellum. It's plastic because it's a lamination. And so I am literally sprinkling glitter. I'm going to be sprinkling paper confetti, those pieces that I punched out, sequins. both the flat sequence and also the sequence that has a little bit of a cup to it. And I am just spreading that out all over this lamination pocket or film. See me just, So I'm in essence gonna make this um, plasticky, colorful, glittery, trapped embellishment or pattern paper or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know. I've never seen it. Maybe someone else has done this out there in YouTube land and, you know, been there, done that, but I thought I was clever, so I figured that I would share this with you. It was really fun to try to make this paper, and I did a lot of tags over the Christmas for friends and stuff, and I did some bookmarks with it, and I believe you can even do like a dashboard for like the planner people. I know I keep trying to get into this planner phase, but anyway, you just want stuff that's gonna lay flat. The cup sequence, a little bit of a cup, doesn't really matter. You're like, oh my gosh, she's throwing all this stuff into this lamination pouch, and how is this gonna go through the machine? You know what? It goes through pretty fine. Um, there is a little bit of a snag that I approach, and you're gonna see this. Right now, what I'm trying to do is, you know how sometimes sequins come together and they're like stuck like 5 layers or 10 layers because they're such a thin material. I'm trying to break the little hearts apart. So these are like little tiny silvery iridescent because they have that little rainbow. You can see they look almost blue, but they're not. They're silver, so it's weird. So I had to kind of like rub them through my fingers. I'm gonna be rubbing my fingers. Do you hear it? Rub them through my fingers in order to separate them, so that I wouldn't have some thick blob. And now here are the regular cup sequins. I think these are like about a 4M, 4 millimeter. Excuse me. I got these from Michaels. I think they were Recollections, the Christmas stack, a bunch, red and white, mix. And when I opened the package, I just got this little canister from the dollar store and just put the excess in there. I have a larger size, but I wanted the hearts to be a little more outstanding, and then the um, sequins and the glitter and all of that to kind of be secondary. And these are like iridescent. They have almost like a purpley tinge, but they are translucent. So light goes right through them. And so I'm just trying to sprinkle them out, but then they're sticking to me, they're staticky, and it's like trying to get them to like go in a different spot, and they're like wanting to go where they want, and it's like, what? So, see, like they're stuck everywhere. Excuse me. Anyway, so I kind of figure like I have everything where I want it, I have enough stuff in there, and so I'm gonna close this lamination sheet and try to close it as easily as possible because you don't want to disturb. You're trying to lay out some kind of pattern. You don't want it to clump. And if you notice, it's a black piece of paper. That's 110-pound Michaels cardstock because the first time I tried to like gravitate this in the air with no backing paper and get it into my machine. And let me tell you, it was all over the place. So here I did this, and then I noticed that it was like things were standing upright, like perpendicular to the lamination, and that hadn't happened. So I don't know if it was the combination of the paper or because those iridescent ones were a little bit staticky, but it was not laying flat. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna go with it. So I just got it started, and you see it sucking it in, no problem. Um, Now I'm just cleaning up a little bit. I let it run through twice, so it came out. I put it back in. I'm getting other stuff ready, and now I'm gonna show you what it looks like using the black paper. Um, you can see the glitter. I mean, it really doesn't look that great. I'm looking at the screen, but it's pretty. It's got that shiny the shiny clear, and the glitter's there, and it's still glittery and shiny, and stuff. I think just maybe I might have put a little bit too much. Like sometimes more is not better. More is more, but not really. So, and also the static. So those little clumps like towards the center and like that whole upper right corner seems so bare. And I know that I had laid it out pretty evenly. So right now I'm going to cut this into the four mats to use. I'm not going to use all four mats because remember I'm making four cards, two and two different versions. But I'm going to cut the four mats and then I'm going to see which ones kind of go with my idea or what looks better on the white paper. So you see me holding it up and stuff like that. And again, I'm back to speeding it up because this took me about an hour to tape from start to finish. And I know I wanted to cut this video at least a half an hour or less. It's now about 10 minutes in. Almost like two-thirds done, I guess, maybe halfway. I don't know. I thought I had gotten it down to about half an hour, so there's still a little much more to do. Ooh, my voice seems to be going today. I'm gonna stamp the sentiment or a sentiment instead of on the front. I'm gonna stamp XOXO, something really basic and cute. It's a recollection stamp. I'm gonna show the packaging really briefly later, and I'm using real red Stamping Up ink, and I'm just gonna be centering it towards the middle, and it's in the inside. So my sentiment is stamped. I am doing some stamping, but it will be on the inside. And it actually stamped pretty good because sometimes you get those recollection stamps and they are just soft and gushy and you kind of press down and it's just like I don't know, it just distorts everything. And this one was actually pretty good. The ink held on to it very nicely. It was the first time I had used it, so here I'm letting them dry. So I did that first because I knew I was going to mess with the front. And so that needs to dry a little bit because it was a little juicy. And now I'm trying to figure out. Now I'm not going to layer these. So you see me laying all these things with the red heart um, mats. I'm just trying to see which one has some good spots. And you'll understand what I mean in a minute. Because, like I said, I'm doing four different cards. And so here I'm trying to see, like, using the black to kind of really see what's going on. Because I was doing it on the red, it made no sense because the red blended in with the red hearts. It's the same cardstock trapped inside. So I wind up, messing with this. I think I should have sped this up. I don't know why. So this is also taking so long. But I also have some Christmas ribbons. So like this was like $4 in like Rite Aid, and I wound up spending like $1 for all these rolls. And we always put ribbon on, and we get the nice fabric ribbon and whatever, or we put the washi and stuff. And that was just happened to be there, and it had it. You can't really tell, but maybe on some, they have a little bit of a texture. Some of them are plain, metallic or satin finish, whatever. This one almost has like a baskety texture to it, the silver one that I want to use. And then I'm like wrapping. You see right there, my finger, right there, right there. The red and the white caught my eye. You see that? I'm looking at that, and I'm gonna use those two as well. So I'm gonna be cutting up 8 sets of ribbon to do my cards. So I had the idea, put it to the side, and I said, you know what? Let me set up what I need to set up. Okay, so here I'm bringing the layers in, and I'm gonna start to figure out which two layers I do want to use on the white. So I want another enough of the glitter to go across the whole card, but I know that I'm going to be adding some other stuff like the ribbon to it, so I don't want to lose some really good stuff. So I have to figure out which one is going to accomplish that goal. And so I finally settled on, I think, this one, yeah. And so the whole process with this is that, since it's see-through, we have to figure out how, oh, I have to figure out, but if you want to do it, you're going to have to figure out. But I'm going to tell you now that you need to like kind of hide, right? We all know we got to hide creatively our adhesives. So I'm going to hide the adhesive behind the big red hearts. And so I took out some Stamping Up dimensionals and I am placing them behind all the hearts. So there's a little bit of an imbalance in terms of how it's not gonna, like it could cave in or be like closer to the actual cardstock when I put it down. But I just was like, you know what? It needs to hit. I find, oh my God, it needs to adhere well, and I find that the Stamping Up dimensionals really have the greatest like tack to them. They really stick well. So once you figure out where you're gonna place them, you need to like push them down, and they're good to go. And especially with plastic, they're gonna stay. So I set up the first one, and I'm doing a little trick, making sure everything has a nice little white border around the entire plastic mat that I've created. And so I'm just checking that out. And then I'm going to go to the other second one and use this mat as my was it this one? Yeah. So again, I think also, I looked to make sure that I had some place to hide the adhesive as part of that process. I wanted a good dispersion of all the goods and goodies and bits and pieces inside this trapped glitter packet, but I needed to also have some place to stick my dimensionals. So I'm gonna do that. And it's so weird because like down the center, but it does the job and it gets it to be secure. So we're gonna do that. And this is gonna be like really simple. I'm not putting a sentiment on the outside. We already did the XOXO on the inside. So I'm just gonna wrap some ribbon around it and then I'm gonna add a couple of embellishments. But nothing far or different from what already you see here. Um, there we go. There they go. I'm trying to get them to lay flat. So I was gonna do the silver, and then I remember the red and the white, and then I said, "Oh, the red. Let's see." But I felt it was like it blended in too much, so I was like, my first initial thought was the silver. I went straight back to that. And since it's a top fold card, I decided to wrap it completely around. The card. If it was a side fold card, it would be hard. You might have to make a little hole in the on the spine of the card so that you could slip the ribbon through, so that you can have that continuous, wrap around. I don't necessarily like that because, so here I'm getting my ATG gun out and I'm gonna get ready to put some ribbon down and I'm anticipating this gun not sticking. But this ribbon grabbed the ATG adhesive so quickly and so awesome. And I was putting like, because this is kind of like almost, it's not really an inch, or maybe it is, an inch wide of silver. So I put a couple of rows and then it was kind of like clumping up at the end. But I was like, wait a minute, I'm not going to use the whole thing. I'm going to wrap it completely around and I'll just cut off the excess. So that's what I'm doing. Relative to the middle, making sure it's flat, looking at the back, making sure it's straight, and adhering the whole entire thing, putting a seam in the front because I knew that I was going to add something else to the front of the card. So I got it there, it touched, and then I cut off the excess. And I'm going to do that to the second card as well. I don't see that I've sped this up, so you're going to watch me do that again. But it's okay. And again, run it down the center. And what is going on there? Yeah, I think I was getting stuck to everything because it would roll up on itself, but that's all right. Here we go. So I don't know, guys. What do you think about my idea? This trapped confetti paper that was created. If you think that it's a waste of time, if you think that that was very inventive, if you've seen it before and you remember where, I'd love to check out a video of someone else. Leave me the comment in, you know, below and give me a heads up because, we like to share ideas and I'm the straight first one to say that, I'm not sure if I'm 100% original, but that's okay. So, anyway, that would be great if you could let me know. Okay, so we're gonna continue here. My video froze, so I actually had to hear myself, and I realized that I must be coming down with a cold because I'm even more nasally than I've been. Anyway, back to what we're doing on the screen. I had punched at a bunch of hearts, and I had used the sweetheart punch from Stamping Up, and I had cut out 6 big hearts. Big, relatively speaking, to everything else that's in that trapped confetti page. So the hearts themselves are going to be placed on top and popped up. So what I did was I'm adding a little bit of white stitching on the backs of these hearts because they would coordinate with the inside, which is stamped in red, XOXO, and I'm going to show it to you, but I'm talking about it now. It looks like it has a stitched effect. So just to kind of have a connection between the outside and the inside, you can actually see it up in the corner, but you can't really see the stitching effect on it. I will try to show it to you a little bit more. So I am placing one over the seam, of course, and then I'm going to trickle them here and there. Now, the two cards are not going to match each other exactly, and that's fine because the trap confetti page is not exactly a match for every quadrant of that, 9 by 11 and a half piece of lamination. So, I'm just staggering them. And this one, it was a little bit empty in the upper left hand corner, so I kind of went in that upward direction. And so got my Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, placing them there, and was trying to get it so I didn't have to cut the heart. And so I'm just checking that it's not peeking out from the back. And everything looks good, and it's simple, it's basic. You have the different textures with the plastic trap confetti page. You've got the ribbon. I'll see there, I'm showing you, but I didn't hold it close enough, that it has the stitching on the inside. And then here I'm doing the second one real quick, so just you don't need to see me do that same thing. It's like the same card, just different placement. And now I'm gonna go and do the other sets of cards. I'm finding that I like the 110, so you see what I'm doing there is I'm just folding it, reinforcing that crease. So now I'm gonna do the other one. So this one is having a matte background that is red, and I'm gonna attach the ribbon to that, which was the ribbon that as I was unraveling the silver, it caught my eye the way that they just had laid on top of each other, like I said earlier. So I'm just cutting two and two because, like I said, four cards, and I'm gonna again ATG them together. So I don't know. What do you guys think about? I'm just gonna keep. Excuse me. I'm just gonna keep asking you guys questions and hopefully you'll respond. But this use of this Christmas ribbon, do you think it's too cheesy or it's too cheap looking? I look at the card and I like the shine because the white ribbon actually had a satin texture on one side and a really shiny texture on the other side, and I decided to use a shiny on shiny. So I have, you see me looking at it right there, I decided to do that, shiny on shiny. So it's very mirror glassy kind of look. Excuse me. Here I'm trying to center it. I did a pretty decent job looking at the video here, looking at the cards. I Everyone talks about putting their heads in the video, and I did a pretty good job with XOXO stamping too. And I have stamping with stamping positioners. I have homemade Hampton Art. I got the what's his called? What's his name? Tim Holtz one, and I've even put in the reservation for the Stamparatus from Stamping Up. Anyway, so here is let's go back to this. We're just trying to fill in airspace. I don't know. Would you prefer me to be quiet? I can if you want. Let me know in the comments below. So I wrapped it around. I did the first one fast, and then I did the second one, and I just used my mat to kind of line everything up. It's about a half an inch from the floor, from the bottom of the paper, from the mat, at the floor. So I put all the glue dots, and there's my little garbage can. I center it, and I do the same thing, and then I'm centering it on the other front. And now I'm gonna do what my other idea was. So since I made this trapped confetti, I could easily use it as a mat. I was using it as bookmarks and tags and stuff like that. This idea I first myself used for Christmas, and so I'm like, how else? Or what else can I do it? And so I decided to punch some shapes. So this is what I'm doing right now. I took the heart punch from Stamping Up, and I'm punching six sweetheart stamps, not stamps, hearts, out of it. And then I have this little kind of like medium sized one. I think it's an EK Success. I'm not sure. Came in a set of four. I'm in Hobby Lobby, and I'm doing that. And let me tell you, that one couldn't handle it because that one was giving me a hard time. I did a bunch of stamps in the sweetheart. I did six, no problem. And then I said, let me do some smaller ones here because the odd number rule. So I had three and three, and that sucker got jammed. Look at me. I'm going to hurt myself. I mean, I'm looking at it like I'm dangerous. So I wound up getting at least four, which would have made the five and five, which is perfect. And so then I was like, all right, that's it. That's good. Rule of odds, right? And I got the stuff out. So it kind of dulled this one. So it's not the best punch. So I think it dulled it. So, c'est la vie. So here I am again, gonna place the hearts, and again having to use strategic placement of my dimensionals. So I'm cutting them up and I'm making them little tiny pieces, and I am trying to figure it out because these didn't have as much red. Somehow it clumped up, a lot of the red confetti clumped up on top of each other, so I didn't have that backup. And so this one I'm trying to like make these little tiny slivers to cover all the little red areas. Or if it was a really clumped up bunch of silver sequin, then I was able to put, piece of dimensional behind it. But like I say, a little goes a long way with these dimensionals. So this is awesome. I don't know if you know I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm like horrible, but I really love this product. This is like really, really awesome. I just recently bought like 12, and I even got the mini ones, but I didn't bust them out for this because I should have, right? They might have been like I didn't have to cut them, but they're sitting over there on my shelf. But I opened up a fresh pack of the regular dimensionals and I just did a little trim. So I'm trying to figure out everywhere and doing as many of them as I can. And then I said, you know what? Let me just do one card, and then I wind up messing with them again. So these are like really basic cards, and sometimes basic is good. Doesn't always have to be over the top extravagant. So I'm just really getting in there, getting that dimensional like microscopic, and then it gets stuck. I didn't cut it the whole way through because I'm like trying not to cut so much, and then it's like, wah, wah, you didn't cut enough. And so I wind up peeling them apart, ripping them apart, throwing stuff away that I mess up. And here we go. I also gonna do a little trick. I'm not sure if it was on this first card or the second card that, I have that ribbon there that's red and white. And so the dimensional itself is white. And so I'm trying to hide it behind all of the, clusters and the cardstock itself so that way you don't see the dimensional. But one or two of these things were just not being my friend. I punched them out. I was trying to be strategic, but it didn't work out like that. So I wound up having to take the dimensional and actually putting the dimensional on the white piece of the ribbon. So I kind of camouflaged it. It wasn't on this card, so you'll see me do that now. So I just positioned the five, three, and two little medium ones, a rule of odds. I contemplated whether I should put a stamp or some kind of other sentiment on this one because I had a little bit of space. But then I knew it wasn't going to necessarily happen on the other one, depending upon how it cascaded. I didn't matchy them. I like to make multiples, but if I could do a little twist from one to the other, I don't mind it. It doesn't have to be like super duper duper like identical. So, what do you think? Here's third question number three. What do you think? Should I have stamped something else, or would you have stamped some other things? Maybe like even stamp some hearts in black. I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, does you feel like it's too plain? Like it could have been, a little bit. Oh, there goes my trick. You saw that? Me talking. I know you saw it though. I'm over here yapping. I put the little piece of a dimensional on the white, and so when I put it, even though I saw it, I didn't see it because it was lined up. So it kind of like faded in. And so I'm pretty much done. So here are my two that are made with the red mats and the punched out trapped confetti hearts. I'm like, I don't know, does that make like a good title for it? Trapped confetti or laminated confetti? I'm not sure. But again, I might not be the only person that ever did that. Here's the other pair of cards that I made. And so now I'm going to show you a couple of shots of the cards that I took on some black cardstock. I don't know. Tell me what you think. I hope you were inspired. I hope you enjoyed my silliness. I like to just be real and just talk, and I yammer on, but I'm having an awesome time. This is why I joined for the second go around. And so please, again, go down to the comments below. Tell me what you think. Go into the description. Click on every single one of those people. There's 20 of us. and get inspired, maybe learn some new tricks, check out some great videos, and don't forget to come back next month, back on the 15th, and check out the also inspired collaboration. Yes, I should edit that, but I'm not. Thanks for dropping by. Take care.